Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. There's this belief in Delaware that if you fix the ports and you deepen the river, the jobs will come. How true is that? Dennis Rochford is the president of the Maritime Exchange. Welcome back. Thank you so much.
Nice to be here.
So let's start with the Port of Wilmington. There was an article out recently that once they expand the Port of Wilmington, once they improve the Port of Wilmington, all of these manufacturing jobs, I shouldn't say all, 5,000 manufacturing jobs could come back to the area. How do you quantify that?
Well, because what the Diamond State Port Corporation is pursuing are private investors. This is not going to be state funded. So the private investor who's going to put a couple hundred, maybe $300 or $400 million into the Port of Wilmington is going to want to be pretty certain that there's going to be a return on that investment.
He's going to want to be pretty certain. How confident are we that that's certain? And the reason I'm saying this, I guess what I'm saying this is because Chrysler left, GM left. There was a lot of steel jobs went, a lot of manufacturing jobs left, tens of thousands left. We can't get them back, right?
Well, it'd be difficult to get all 10,000
yeah, you can't.
automobile jobs back, sure, yeah.
But, and getting manufacturing jobs is difficult too, isn't it? In this environment?
It's a challenge, but see, where the maritime industry comes in is that is a sector of our economy that is really blue-collar focused, the ILA, the longshoremen, the terminal operators, and the like. Not exactly the same as somebody that's an auto worker at an auto plant, but it is blue-collar, it is family-sustaining jobs, and candidly, they can make anywhere from $50 to $75 to $150,000 a year.
Yeah, and I get it. I get that if you want those jobs at all, you have to at least be in the game.
That's right.
And so you have to deepen the water, and you have to improve the ports.
Well, that's right.
But that doesn't mean they're coming.
No, but one thing is sure, if you don't improve your ports, whether it's Wilmington, Philadelphia, or Camden, you're going to start to lose some of the business you've got, and you're not going to have much of a shot of bringing new jobs in.
Now, the deepening of the water, the drenching, that probably... The dredging, I'm sorry, I got the wrong word. Yeah, that probably has a lot more to do with bringing jobs in, right?
What it'll do is it'll take the Delaware River down to 45 feet and keep us competitive with New York and Baltimore and Norfolk, all the way down to Jacksonville and Miami. That's the part of, everybody says, well, if you deepen the channel, you're going to bring new jobs and new ships, or, additional business is going to come up the river. That's one outcome, but the initial outcome is to protect the business you have. There's 2,500 ships, cargo ships, come up this river every year to Wilmington, Philadelphia, Camden, the oil refineries, and if we don't deepen the river, which is going to be completed next year, then we can start to lose some of that business to competing ports on the East Coast.
It's interesting because there are all these ports involved.
Right.
You're all together on deepening the
right.
river, but you're competitive at the same time, are you not?
Absolutely.
So, is it possible that you could do this and steal some work from Philadelphia?
Well, let me tell you this. From the Maritime Exchange point of view, every ship that comes up the river is a good ship, whether it goes to Wilmington, Philadelphia, or Camden. And there's competition amongst the ports on the Delaware River. But the real competition is how much business can we attract from New York? How much business can we attract from Baltimore and other ports? And the deeper river is going to, I really believe, is going to put this regional port complex in a very strong competitive position vis-a-vis New York.
Now you're overseeing all of this. What are some of the timetables?
Well, the channel deepening project will be completed by the beginning of next year.
That's great.
The new port of Paulsboro became operational in February of this year. My understanding is, based on what I read in the paper, is that Diamond State Port Corporation wants to make a decision with respect to a path forward for an investor in the Port of Wilmington by the beginning of next year. Probably could take 3 months, could take 6 months, because the legislature has to sign off on it.
Now, will we be able to notice this? Will we be able to see right away that there's new ships or different ships coming up, or is that not the case?
Well, I'll see it because we do all the ship reporting on the Delaware River, and all the individual ports will see it. And then it's up to everybody to then publicize what's going on, which we do.
Do we already know that new business is coming in early next year? New ships are going to use our port as opposed to New York or Baltimore?
You won't know that until somebody finally makes the investment in the port. Right now, it's whether they're going to expand on the original footprint on the Port of Wilmington, or they're going to develop the old Edgemore facility into a container terminal. I mean, there has to be a deal where somebody's going to start to invest the money. And as I said before, a private investor is going to want to know that there's going to be new business. So what do they need? What's one of the elements, in my opinion, of this whole negotiation process? You got to find an anchor tenant. You got to find somebody that says, if you build that particular facility or expand that facility, we're going to bring our business here. Might take a year for the business to actually get here because they have to build the port out.
But at least it creates the potential.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you coming in as always.
Enjoyed
Dennis
it.
Rochford,
Thank you.
president of the Maritime Exchange. When we come back, the Delaware College of Arts and Design will find out what they're up to when the Delaware Way continues.